too, but just wanted to make it easier for the whole show, you know?
I really love that image I have in my head now.
You know what I'm saying.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show. Anthony, how are you, my friends?
I'm doing great, my friends. I got a great weekend. This weekend, hung out with Brian at his place, dude. Stanford, have been there in a while. Watched some okay baseball from the Mets, I suppose. And yeah, got a lot of work done. Beautiful weekend, too. I feel like yesterday was just perfect weather, dude. Not too hot. Finally, no humidity or anything. It was nice out on my balcony, dude, just chilling, soaking in some sun. Nice breeze, dude. I don't know how you feel, but I feel like every day has been just so hot.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
No, I said the same thing. And I was surprised. Like when I started, because I golfed yesterday in Putnam. And it was like a 12:54 tee time. And I want to say when I started, it was like still in like the 70s. So I was like really surprised because I used to like, you know, it's touching 90, the heat index, all of that stuff. And I couldn't believe how nice it felt. Like didn't sweat at all versus the day before when I was at Oak Hill in Norwalk. And it was a complete scorcher. Wow. I could barely grip the club. It was just so hot out.
Were you going 2 gloves?
Yeah, actually yesterday I was going 2 gloves. I bought one and it was like hanging them on the sides of the cart, like to like, you know,
dry off.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's tough, dude.
But just it worked out a lot better. So yeah,
that's good, dude.
But it was definitely nice to enjoy the weather. You know, that's for sure. And we do have a couple comments here.
We have quite a few comments, dude. Starting off, I guess we'll start off with Josh B. The company prez says, let's go. Rep the company, dude. I never had this. Here we go.
Let's go. Always
He's hyped for the Monday, baby.
Josh B. He's always ready to go. Fresh in from Jamaica. I'm sure he's enjoying that tan he got over there.
Oh my God, yeah, dude. Josh, if you want to, call in, let us know about the vacation.
The vacation, the jerk chicken.
We know how. I was just gonna say, Brian, big fan of the jerk chicken. We also have a few comments from Move with Matthew. Says, cheers, dude. Says Saturday was dope, so dope. Beautiful weather yesterday. Breeze was divine. Barnes, you left the 5 in Putnam, dude.
And that goes back to the old Eastern days.
Shout out to the company.
Shout out the company. That is for sure. And like we were saying, Saturday was great. Honestly, it had everything that you wanted. Remos was amazing.
Dude, so good, dude.
No pun intended, but the company was amazing.
Yeah, honestly it was.
And the Pong was amazing. And it was a day where the Yankees actually played like a Major League Baseball team and didn't get embarrassed like last night. So
it was an exciting game.
It was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
What did you think about me needing the full 27, Tony, before we could switch over to the UFC? Like watching the full 20.
I mean, I didn't think it was that out of pocket. I don't think,
but you didn't think it was out of pocket because you're just on my level with baseball, but everyone else is like just not, other than of course Matthew, but I'm saying like just doesn't get it. Like, is basically what I'm trying to say.
And I mean, there was enough UFC to go around. We watched a ton of fights.
Which I have to say too, I actually I never watched UFC, but I actually really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah, me too, dude. It's always good like when you got like a crew together.
Right.
You know, like that's especially like and it's good to like because I don't follow UFC and I never really followed to begin with. So it's like, seeing Mike get hyped up for one of the heavyweights, like, wow, this guy's still fighting. This is awesome. I'm like, oh wow, like this is exciting. Like I get excited from it, dude. It's pretty sick.
And how ridiculous did Derek Lewis knee to the face to start that fight?
Dude, that so sick.
Just like a madman.
Literally, dude. He's out of his mind, that guy. And then, the post-fight interview.
Kind of calling out the UFC a little bit. But I don't know how you don't give that man a contract extension. I understand he's older.
Right.
And the UFC, I'm sure, is trying to, watch their costs. But I think he's a draw. that everybody wants to see, like Renee.
Renee's a
who
draw.
was featured. If anybody didn't see, we have the vlog from the Bar A. Michael K. Beach Bash.
Hell yeah,
Renee
dude.
featured a little post-game interview on the set. I really loved that set. That I don't know what was that area that you guys were sitting at the end?
Oh, the cabana.
The cabana,
thing?
yeah.
Yeah, it was like a I guess it was like a mediator area between like the bar and then where the stage was in ESPN.
Okay.
And it was just like, yeah, it was like another little area. That's where you were able to throw the football to the Jets receivers, the blow up thing. And they just had it surrounded by like little cabanas. I would say normally, like that's just like another bar, you know, for when Bar A is just doing their normal thing. But yeah, dude, it was nice little like in the middle area. Oh my God. The disrespect.
Getting aggressive. Renee, were you tanning this weekend?
Oh, stop it, Brian. She's actually wearing her Ford. I forget the name of the Ford Auto Group. Their sponsor from DPHO Rothenberg.
Oh,
gave away a t-shirt, dude. I took the neon yellow one. Kind of regret it a little bit because you can't really wear it out places.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Though.
You know, I did wear it on a run, but like my nipples were chafing from the material of the shirt. You ever have that? Well, I guess you wear like a bra and stuff, so you wouldn't have that. I don't wear a bra, so it's like nipples on.
I mean,
like,
just before the show.
Brian, come on, dude.
No. Just before the show, you said the phrase something like, "Oh, I'm so glad that I have that image in my head." I mean, I can say the same thing right there, Tony. All right.
I'm just saying, Brian. Like,
I'm just saying.
Have you ever had that problem before?
Tony, of course.
Like, come on, dude. And it's not pleasant at all, dude.
For some reason, it happens.
All American Ford, says Josh B. Also, it says vlog so good. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh B. Appreciate that. And then he's talking about the full 27. And Josh,
good kick out of that, dude.
It was a great game. And as you know, we haven't had too many of those this season.
Are you kidding?
I needed to see it all the way through. A lot of outside pressure. The UFC, the game's over. And you know me. You know how I am with baseball. That was like one of the most annoying comments I could ever hear. But like Josh knows, not everybody is a baseball person. So they just don't understand. You have to see it through. And especially this season, you really have to see it through. Obviously, unless it's like last night, then what's the point of watching? But you get my drift there. What's All American Ford though? What did he mean?
Oh, that's All American Ford. That's the sponsors on the t-shirt.
Oh,
and they had the Bronco that they gave away and everything like that. Matthew also says the vlog is incredible. And my mother says that's why you should wear an undershirt. Yeah, but then you're wearing two shirts and you're running, Mom, and it's just like I don't need.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. You sweat a lot more, and then you take up two shirts. Like
yeah.
You know. And that says Anthony, you done it again.
You done it again. It's August and it's not looking good. Well, technically, Josh, it's still July, but I get your drift. I get your drift. Maybe we'll have an August for the ages, or
Brian likes to see out the full 31 days before he goes to next month.
I would like to see out the full 31. But boy, tough sledding ahead.
Yeah, man.
And as you know, we'll get into it in a second. Sorry for the delay there, Renee. I apologize. But yeah, so great weekend other than the baseball, of course. But yeah, Saturday was completely legendary.
The mozzarella sticks, dude.
The mozzarella sticks, the Gallimar.
And
how about this? To top it off, you know, the feast that we had, all the food we had. Me and John, just us two last night, ran it back.
Really?
Different stuff. Dude. Different stuff. He got the chicken parm. And
my God.
And I got the bolognese. And the bolognese was unbelievable, Tony.
That does sound really good, dude. I know. I wanted to try like some pasta dish, but I don't know. It's tough. Like, you know, we were there. You know, I was there to drink. Obviously, have a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to like fill up on the pasta and just be like rolling over.
No.
Like,
and
so
it's
tough.
100% accepted. And I'm not trying to like toot my own horn here, or is it really that good of a skill or not? But I feel like I'm the only person that says that, like with like the drinking, like in terms of what I'm looking to do that night.
Right.
Whether I have the full meal or whether I have a protein bar, same intake, outtake.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good, dude. I guess that sometimes I try. I forget.
Yeah.
I forget what. Oh, it was definitely the poor Jeff day, dude. I was like, by the end of like after we left, I was like, oh my God, I'm so full. Like I want to keep drinking. Like so, you keep drinking, you just gotta power through it, and then you're like, all right, I can do this. But then there's sometimes where it's just like,
no, you can't.
It's a lost cause.
You
it's
want to
just
go
like,
to bed.
Yeah. It's like, what am I really doing right now? Like honestly.
And some more comments here. Comments coming in early and often. A lot of viewers. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. And of course, once again, shout out to the company.
Hell yes.
We know
dude.
Lonnie's there somewhere.
Lonnie's somewhere. But speaking of Lonnie, Josh says I'd be surprised if Judge doesn't miss a game. Maybe. Otherwise, no shot for a good August, I think he's saying. And let's see.
Not wrong. We've seen how important he is.
Yeah, Remos out of this world. Matthew says literally everything from there. He says we have to actually eat there one night. And then my mother, who I don't know what she's doubting. She says I doubt it, Barnes.
Maybe with what I'm saying about the food.
Oh, how it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe.
No, I meant how like I could just power through it. Like it doesn't matter.
Oh,
I think. Right?
Oh, wow, dude. Yeah, maybe if that is the case,
Yeah.
that's tough. My mother also says now I know why I didn't come home this weekend. I was working hard this weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
Like obviously you play a little bit Saturday night, but were we not? I mean, Mike and I were here all day. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
grinding it out.
It's well deserved. Remos
yeah.
and Pong, dude.
And a sit down will be legendary. Yeah. And I think we could, because people have seen me in there. I think we could start a nice partnership with Remos. So I
see why not.
think that would be a good idea one time.
When's the last time you've eaten in there? Inside the
Probably
restaurant?
a year ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice digs?
Yeah. Nothing crazy, but
There's nothing fancy.
No, not fancy. No.
So like
But
sports
not.
board?
Oh,
Is it that level where we can go in there and do sports board in there? You think?
know, the only issue is I feel like we would have to do it when they're closed because they're just always.
They're
like,
always
there's
slammed?
There's
Really?
no spot to go. Yeah.
I guess good for them, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Are we talking a full bar with TVs and stuff in there?
No TVs. There is a little bar. Like
so it's like a
bar.
real restaurant.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay.
It's definitely really.
So
nice.
probably no sports board. Not
Uh,
to say we're not nice people.
maybe a lunch. Is time sports board possible?
Oh, dude, I could see Renee right now serving up the chicken parm
Yeah. No,
at Remos. Oh, it's the pizzeria.
because I don't think you've ever eaten Remos before. Right?
Yankee game. I thought when we had. Remember we had pizza for
Oh.
the Yankee game when we went for Barnes' birthday. Did you?
And then I forgot. Were you there for the Super Bowl?
I didn't eat
Any of the stuff that was there?
Oh, maybe.
Penny vodka?
No,
No. Chicken franchise? No.
I don't know.
You probably did. I mean, when do we not have good
Down
food?
to try it again.
Yeah, down to try it again. Absolutely. But and then Tony, we were talking about the Pong games.
Oh yeah, dude.
Now that distance, prefer it shorter, indifferent. What do you think? Because obviously everyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We have a pretty long countertop, so I would say maybe 1.5 times the size of what maybe you would say for
that
a regular Pong
countertop
game.
is probably like what 6.5, 7 feet.
Yeah,
7 feet.
maybe longer.
I'm trying to think if I was
I think it's
laying
like
on
10 feet.
it. Yeah, maybe it is close to like 10
Yeah.
feet. Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit longer than obviously I'm used to, but it really isn't that bad. And it's not like, I feel like so many times, I've played beer pong in like a basement where the ceiling is like, a foot above my
Right.
head. So
Yeah,
it's fine. It was definitely doable, dude.
yeah.
It made it more fun, a little more challenging too.
Seems like all the games were competitive.
All the games were competitive because again, people playing on the elongated
Yeah.
island here, it
Yeah.
makes a little bit of a level playing field.
Yeah,
It was good, dude. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it was a nice album.
And I mean,
for
the
sure.
kitchen, your kitchen living room situation is like night and day now.
Oh
It's
yeah,
sick.
it would blow out that wall, get rid of
Yeah,
that
dude,
closet.
so sick.
And then I feel like the drink mix was nice. The Sam Summer,
Yeah, the Allagash white,
is key.
dude.
Allagash
Yeah.
is underrated.
I could really just like it could be all night just with
Yeah.
Allagash, like slamming.
Yeah, but until recently, I didn't even like know they existed. Like I haven't really had much of them.
It's funny because Mike had mentioned how they're like a staple at local. I used to get them a lot at Sitting Duck.
Okay,
Yeah, dude, the Allagash white. Because like sometimes like it's not a heavy beer. It's nice. It's light.
Yeah.
You can drink it while you're partying or while you're eating food. It's not like a heavy like double IPA that's gonna be like sitting in your stomach, dude.
yeah, Yeah.
So it's really nice. I also haven't had a Twee in a while. I haven't had Twisted Tea.
Twisted Tea, yeah.
So long. dude.
But it's nice to kind of mix that in instead of going straight Twisted Tea because like the sugar, but it tastes so good. I mean, it's like ridiculous, but
it tastes so good.
like 10 would be kind of tough.
I know. Yeah, you're having a tough time. the
But
next
you
morning.
mix them in. So you're saying Allagash and then Sam Summer right below, or like where does Sam Summer
Sim Summer, I guess would be right below it.
Yeah.
If not even below the Twisted Tea.
Really?
to be
So you're kind of
honest.
tight about Sim Summer.
I'm not tight about it. It's just like it's okay. I don't like their summer ale. To be honest, Sam Adams, I like their Boston Lager. I think
Boston Lager. Is it
dude.
dark?
Yeah, it's a little darker, but it's
Okay.
not. Again, it's not nothing too heavy. It's something you can drink all night.
It's funny because I never really drank it, but then at the Travelers, like that was like the beer everyone was
the
getting.
Boston Lager or
no,
the summer.
the summer, yeah.
It's refreshing.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. I thought it was pretty good. So,
Crisp, good outside drink.
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Can't wait to do that again. That's for sure. But so much to get down to here. The first thing I wanted to mention was the golf over
right,
the
dude.
weekend. And like we see with these fields that aren't full of all the top golfers in the world, a surprise at top. And I mean, talk about a surprise and just winning in such dominant fashion. Lee Hodges winning the 3M Open there, TPC Twin Cities, 24 under. 4 under in his fourth round, which was good for 67. And that was on the heels of going 63, 64, and 66. And he was 7 shots clear of 3 golfers, Martin Laird, Kevin Streelman, and JT Poston. And then, looking a little further down the list, we saw Keith Mitchell finish 5th, tied with Dylan Wu. Sam Ryder tied with Aaron Badley and last year's champion Tony Finau, who had a great week, 66, 66, 67, but couldn't muster up more than a 1 under 70 on Sunday to take a tied for 7th. But needless to say, it's been a great season for Tony Finau. Nice to see him really have some consistency after struggling to get the job done for so many years. Yeah, definitely just overall, was very, very competitive. And how about Justin Thomas, Tony? We came into this one talking about how, he's outside or he's right on the cusp of not being in the playoffs, and he misses the cut in this one. It really seems like we are going to have a FedEx Cup playoff and potentially a Ryder Cup without Justin Thomas.
How do you feel about that? Tight?
It's a shame, but if you think about it, I mean, just based on his performance this year, I mean, does he deserve it?
It doesn't really look like it though, huh?
Yeah.
That he does deserve it. I mean, what are you gonna do, dude? It's a competitive field.
Yeah, it's
You know?
just, but it's just, I don't get it though, because you come off last year where you have that dominant comeback on Sunday at the PGA, down 7-8 strokes. And then you just play the worst golf of your career. You would think that would be an event that would prop you up. And, we saw him do pretty good at the Travelers, but, it wasn't a win. And, he was always kind of one of the more consistent players, on the PGA Tour and just absolutely nothing, which of recent, which is just, very surprising to see. So, he's going to play in this week's Wyndham Championship from Sedgefield Country Club in Greensboro, North Carolina. But you're looking at a guy who's missed the cut, what, 5 out of his last 7 events?
Yeah.
And one tied 9th and then a 60th at the Genesis Scottish Open. So that's obviously not good. So he's really, really going to have to make a run this week in Greensboro to have any type of chance at qualifying, for the FedEx Cup playoffs.
What do you think it is? Because I mean, I'm just looking at some like his scorecard here. Some of his first round scores are just like 75, like 82, 76. Like, what is it that he's just coming out here and he just doesn't?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, he just gets off to bad starts and can't recover, and then I'll have it just inconsistency, general inconsistency. I think you saw it in his second round. He went out a birdie barrage, but then he bogeyed a couple down the stretch, and ultimately that ended up costing him here. So very surprising to see such struggles from JT. Really needs a solid performance here at Sedgefield. I would imagine a top 5 at the minimum.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens there. And also, I'm just seeing this. I didn't realize Lee Hodges, he's 28 years old. I'm guessing was on the Corn Ferry before this. But this is actually the first win of his career.
Wow. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Lee Hodges. And I'm sure that will cement his place here. On the FedEx Cup leaderboard, anytime you can win a tournament, I mean, the amount of points you get is tremendous. So we're really coming to a crucial point in the season here. This is going to be the regular season finale at Sedgefield Country Club before we start the first of 3 FedEx Cup playoff events: the FedEx St. Jude Championship, the BMW Championship, and then the season wraps up with the Tour Championship at East Lake in Atlanta. So
nice.
We'll have a lot of golfers eliminated in this process, and it's going to be interesting to see down the stretch who wins this. And a lot of times, I think it was like the last 3 or 4 years, whoever wins the FedEx Cup playoffs also wins Golfer of the Year. Seems like there's a strong correlation with that. So,
Wow.
Obviously JT and Rory and Scotty all up for that. Not JT, but John Rahm, Rory and Scotty all up for that.
You wish it was JT.
Yeah, I wish it was JT. Michael tuning in here.
He says, "Hey fellas, what a weekend, what a show, what a vlog, and what a life." He says, dude.
I mean, amen,
really
amen,
is, dude.
amen, or no?
Honestly, yeah, amen, amen, amen.
So that's great stuff, of course. Wednesday, we'll take a look at the Wyndham Championship. One other thing I just wanted to mention here, we did have a senior major championship over the weekend. Alex Sajeka prevails over Patrick Harrington on the second playoff hole to win the Senior Open Championship. And this was one of your classics. So this was at Royal Portcall in Bridgend, Wales, Tony.
Jesus, sounds very fancy.
And there was high wind and rains all weekend. The field scoring average for the final round was 78.515, the third highest field scoring average in the final round of a PGA Champions Tour event dating back to 1980. Sajeka, who carded at 76, finished at 5 over through 72 holes. So it was an exciting finish, and JT actually was tweeting about this, that he was watching the event. And the whole thing here is it's like, maybe instead of watching the event, you'd think he'd be doing some work, on the practice greens or whatever
Call him out.
he needed to do. So he was enjoying that, and I watched a little bit, and it's amazing. And just to think that you could win a major championship 5 over par. I mean, that's right up there with like the highest score I've seen.
Gives me hopes.
Yeah, to win one of those tournaments. And also finishing right outside of this playoff, I guess 2 shots back, Vijay Singh, who has won the Masters and the PGA before, 7 over par, and he's definitely been on tour for a long time and seems to be kind of past his winning ways, but coming pretty close there for Vijay Singh. So that was an interesting story for sure. But that's pretty much where we are in the world of golf. And before we switch gears, we do have Lonnie tuning in.
Let's go, Lonnie. Yes, we do. He's saying, what's going on, guys? Sorry I couldn't make it out there today. No worries. Banged up from Saturday. I hope you guys had solid weekends. Happy belated, Tony, again. Thank you. And, of course, B has on the golf gear. Hashtag rep the company, dude. I mean, you are. Dude, it's just fitting,
It is fitting. And Lonnie, all good. Get better soon, and we can't wait to see you here again.
Yeah, I heard they're showing at the softball wasn't great, dude.
Yeah, but hey, that's why I think
Sorry,
they're switching over to golf, right?
Yeah,
I mean, because Josh B's already riled for golf,
dude.
and then Lonnie, got a taste of the driving range, so
Right.
I think we're making progress.
I'm sure. Yeah, Lonnie seems to be hungry for more. Dude.
He's ready for more, and he's ready for some winning baseball in New York. I don't know if we'll get that. Josh saying Saturday was rough but fun. LOL. It's so funny. Like, and I don't know if this is what they're alluding to or not. I'm guessing it is, but it's just like anytime, especially like when we're talking about like the radio host playing softball, it's always like this person pulled their hamstring, this and that. It seems like that happens a lot in these softball games.
They were saying how a couple years ago Don took a ball to the chest playing in the field, and like They Carton like almost tore ligament in his thumb or something.
Who did?
Not
Carlin?
Carlin, not
Carlin.
Carlin.
I was thinking you're talking about Craig
No,
Carton.
not Craig
but
Carton.
The
Yeah,
fan,
Carlin,
we know.
dude.
But Lonnie's saying,
yeah,
no, we
dude.
got spanked. I'll stick to softball over golf. I feel like one thing doesn't makes like, you know what I mean? That doesn't line up.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, you would imagine maybe he's trying to say like, oh, golf is harder. I mean, it's gonna be even worse of a showing. I mean, as Michael said, they 31 run. I think it was 34-1.
31.
They got outscored over 2 games.
Wow.
So
we're talking about taking your lumps.
I know, dude. And then Lonnie says, yeah, winning baseball in New York. Yeah, right. He said.
Speaking of which, Tony, let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it, Yep. And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drill deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right.
Lonnie knows it. Says I see Tony was locked in today, dude. I was.
We had a.
To the show.
Oh, okay. I got
it. Yeah, I was telling you, I wanted to see if they would mention if they saw the vlog or anything like that. So
yeah, maybe Lonnie, if you want to tell them to mention that tomorrow.
Yeah. Josh B saying CT so far for me.
Wait,
dude.
now where does he live?
I'm not sure. I would imagine somewhere in the New York metropolitan area.
Josh, if you could get back to us on that. Rough coordinates.
Rough coordinates.
And then Matthew.
He wants to do a company DTV golf event, dude. That would be sick.
100%.
Can barely organize golf
Josh,
event amongst ourselves.
Josh can work on Lonnie for the golf. He'll get him there.
I think so, dude. Oh, wow. A lot of these events are in the works. I'm talking to Michael. Wow.
Let's go.
Curating.
Let's go. Can't wait for that.
Dude. The part 3, Southport.
No, the attitude, Tony. So
dude, we would have to. You better call now. Dude.
They lost their business.
Oh, he's from Central Jersey.
Central New Jersey.
Okay, that's not too far.
Renee, is that near you at all or no? You are okay. So, and then how far does it typically take you to get home from here?
About 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay.
It's not bad.
On like a traffic day, it could be 2:45. So
okay.
Which is every day.
Well, I mean, I think the easiest thing here to do is just, once the Yankees get their heads out of their derrieres, we could just meet at the Yankee game, Josh. No, Billy's before. Tony's route.
I don't think he wants.
I think
see you at the stadium today, brother.
Exactly. I think once we get a couple wins under our
Where are
belt,
you?
Yanni saying that is a drive.
Lonnie?
Yikes. What?
Did you say Yanni?
Lonnie.
You sure?
Yeah, it really did. I know you're gonna run back the tape like David Jeter.
Yeah. Yeah, I will. Josh B says yes, dude.
Let's go. And
then Lonnie says hi, Renee. Renee left already, dude. She's out.
We'll tell her you said hi, though, Lonnie.
Maybe.
But a lot to talk about with baseball, and let's start with the trades, and let's start with the Mets. Obviously, them making a big move over the weekend, trading Max Scherzer, eating $35 million and trading him to the Texas Rangers, and receiving Ronald Acuna's brother, Luis Angel Acuna, who is a shortstop and was playing with their Double-A affiliate. So, of course, I have to go to you here, Tony. Your thoughts on this deal, Max Scherzer going to the Texas Rangers?
I mean, obviously, it's funny. Let's look at just the trade alone here. I think I may have had a screenshot of what. Okay, yeah. So, Max Scherzer, get some stats, right? Just his stats with the Mets here. 42 starts, 20-9 over those 42 starts. A 3.02 ERA, a WHIP of 1.03. So obviously, nothing crazy, especially when you think about, what other pitchers are posting up there out of the rotation. But obviously, it's the fact of the matter is Max Scherzer was not really anywhere near anything the Mets thought he would be.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned the amount of home runs he gave up this season. I think it's somewhere like in the low 20s now at this point. I'm actually just gonna double check, but I think really where I think he faulted the most, honestly, was coming up in big spots. I mean, I feel like you look at the wild card season, 23 home runs he's given up this season.
That's in 107 innings. That's embarrassing.
Like really embarrassing.
It's almost as embarrassing as saying Yanni. And
I
then
know.
Lonnie says he said Yanni. What a quack.
That's what he said.
I don't feel like I said Yanni. But if I did, obviously it's just the
right,
you're drinking the coffee, the saliva.
You want to get to the bottom of this, dude?
Yeah, we can get to. Well, that's gonna be a bite.
I don't feel like I said Yanni.
I mean, it's got to be like a minute and a half, maybe.
No.
All
right. Dude.
All right. Oh man.
Wow, Josh B said that you said
we're
Yanni,
having a good time with it.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
I wouldn't quite say that it's David Jeter, but it's up there.
No. It's good. Yanni is like the Yanni. I thought it was B. He said.
Anyway, Tony, continue on.
Again, so yeah, we're talking about the home runs again. Just put that into perspective. You mentioned, 107.2 innings pitched. 23 home runs last season with the Mets. 145 and a third innings, give only 13 home runs. So I mean, obviously, it's a pretty significant disparity. And that was a big reason why like Max Scherzer giving up all these home runs, not doing well.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big reason why the Mets are in the position. Not the only reason, but a big part of it.
Right.
The starting rotation is a big part why Mets were losing games and having records they do and are sellers. I don't care who says that, they're not. They're selling. They are sellers.
No, but it's just a reclassification.
Okay? Yeah, exactly. I don't even want to see Billy Epper's face anymore, honestly, dude.
I told
So
you, if you
ridiculous.
see him on the street, might get ugly.
His fucking quote, I actually took a screenshot of things he said that he literally says, "Oh, this doesn't mean that we're punting away 2023. We're going to have a competitive team. Like I said, we just don't want to endure long stretches of being bad, which you have already. So kind of ridiculous." And he literally says that he says, "I want to be clear here. This is quotation marks, Brian. I want to be clear that it's not a rebuild. It's not a fire sale. It's not a liquidation. This is just a repurposing of Steve's investment in the club." Nonsense, dude. Like you've traded away Scherzer, you're trading away your best closer, you're trying to trade away Verlander now. This is a liquidation.
Right.
Like this is a fire sale. You're getting rid of anyone you can right now. Tommy Pham, Marcana, like all these guys are going.
Well, and the worst part about it is he's like somewhat defending it. And it's just like, this is what I'm guessing, like all Mets fans want.
Yeah. No, I mean it is, but it's just like you come out here after all this and then say that like you're kind of like this is what we're doing, but on the other end you're trying to like beat around the bush and be like, yeah, like it's still fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's still fine. Everything's not fine, dude. Like literally everything you had planned this season
went the exact opposite.
Like nothing went according to your plan. So it's not fine. You're giving your weight. You're blowing money, which I don't care. Like blow your money. That's great.
Yeah. But
it's just like at least say like, yeah, like this is this point. We need to do something. Like just be honest, bro. At this point, Billy Epler is not that. So anyway, Scherzer's, yes, look at his stats, not terrible, but he just really wasn't the pitcher we needed him to be. And at this state in the game, with the injuries that he had, at his age, I understand, Acuna's brother here, Luis Angel, is
just like how they pronounce things. I'm guessing it's Luis Angel.
Is it Angel?
I don't know.
Stop
they always do that. Though.
Yeah.
Probably
yeah.
is,
and
honestly.
It might be. Luis over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's a little ways away from being like a consistent daily starter.
I think they're saying within a year.
Yeah, they're saying within a year. Yeah. But I do think that this is a good trade. I mean, certainly, when you look at what you got for Dave Robertson, I understand Robertson is in another position in terms of fighting against age. But and you really look at the Robertson deal. I mean, like, yeah, the guy was a rental anyway for this season. But I don't know. I just feel like if you're a good GM, you would have recognized that this guy is the best closer on the market at the trade deadline, and you would have gotten something better for him.
Right.
If you were a good GM, that's what good GMs do.
Right.
They're good at selling certain players. They're good at getting, something back for an investment, a good return. Obviously Epler is not a good GM. And he didn't get great, a good return for Robertson. But I would say this is a good trade. I'm happy with this trade for Max. It sucks to see him go. I remember being so hyped when he came to the Mets. And again, you'll get his stats, and it's really nothing terrible. But unfortunately, at this juncture of the Mets season and where they're at, you need to kind of make some drastic moves. It seems like that they're going to try and throw Acuna here, honestly. Like, I think they're going to try to throw him in second base.
Okay.
And then try and have McNeil be like a right fielder, which is interesting. Because obviously, I think they're planning on keeping Beatty at third.
But and not to, I'm just thinking about McNeil here, but you don't think there's any chance they just decide to move him?
Like trade him?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that would be a really tough trade in terms of obviously he has a lot of history with the Mets and stuff like that. I mean, I think it depends on what you would get for him. I would say at this point, I mean, his trade value is not that high.
No, but what if it just,
I mean,
continues to go down?
I don't think it will continue to go down. I think McNeil is a guy who will bounce back. And I understand I've been very critical of his play out in right field because he's not an outfielder. He really isn't. And he's bad at tracking balls sometimes. But I think, was it against the Yankees? Rob Gleyber Torres, I think, of a home run, like off the wall, like pretty impressive. So I think he has the ability to develop to an outfielder. The Mets are in dire need of an outfield. I know McNeil's bat will come around. I think he's someone who can be better. And I think at this point, if we try and trade him, you're not going to get what he deserves. Like, you're not going to get anything good for him, dude. And especially with Epler at the helm of deals here, like, he's not going to be negotiating very well. So I think it might be a poor decision at this juncture to try and deal him. And again, I mean, at this point, I mean, I feel like the Mets, I mean, at the bottom line, they need the bodies too, like, I mean, you're looking to trade Kana. You're probably going to get rid of Pham too. I mean, you want to get rid of McNeil. You're going to have no player. Like,
I would say, though, because I'm just looking at it, manageable contract, $10 million next year, 15.7 in 2025, 15.7 in 2026, and then a team option of 15.75 with a $2 million buyout in 27. That's easily tradable. So I would say you just got to hope rest of this season he really kind of rips it up. And as we see here, he's in his age 31 season. And then I would trade him because I think the contract's manageable. And I think once you get to that age, like, instead of waiting till Jeff McNeil is 34 years old and nobody wants him and you're eating salary, why not just hope that the rest of the season he hits 300, hits a couple home runs, and then you're able to trade him in the offseason and keep replenishing.
That sounds good. Yeah. I'd like that. Like I said, I definitely would not trade him now. I feel like that wouldn't make any sense at all. But yeah, so far, I mean, I guess, it's Scherzer's gone. That's fine. I hate to hear, Buck up there on the podium talking about having Tyler McGill and Robertson try and replace Scherzer. I mean,
oh, you mean Peterson?
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, that's just not like, I mean, that sucks. It's not, it's like, oh, McGill had a good, start in the minors. Like, come on.
Other than the quick fast facts, I guess you could say, have you heard much about Luis Angel?
No, honestly, not really. Like you said, other than just quick, fast facts of his batting average, what he's been doing recently, stealing bags, having some speed. Honestly, literally up until, this trade, I didn't really know much about him.
It seems similar to Ronald, but maybe less power, at least right now. But he could develop that.
Exactly. I'm sure once he gets to the majors, it seems like he can bulk up a little bit. Because he does seem a little skinny.
Right.
And I'm sure if he bulks up, hopefully that can turn into some more power off the bat. But obviously, I mean, at this point, I mean, if you're just getting balls to the gap, I mean, that's great, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And some other trades that we saw over the weekend, the Texas Rangers, obviously
they're going all in, huh, dude?
We just talked about them getting Max Scherzer. They get another former New York pitcher, but this time Jordan Montgomery, as well as right-handed reliever Chris Stratton from the Cardinals. Montgomery this year, he's a pending free agent, 6-9, 3.42, 108 strikeouts, 35 walks over 121 innings with the Cards. Stratton is 32 years old. He gives us some depth as Michael coming in hot. So they get Stratton and they get Montgomery. And in return, the Cards will get a pretty good haul here. Some prospects that have some kind of high expectations. I think it just makes a lot of sense. In the names of these guys, you got infielder Thomas Segisi, right-hander Takeo Roby, and left-handed reliever John King. So you look at Segisi, he was drafted in 2020. 21 years old, is hitting 314 with 15 homers, 78 RBIs this season. And Roby has a 4-pitch mix in his ERA, 5.05. So, showing some struggle there. He has struck out 4 times as many hitters as he has walked this season and limited hitters to 5 home runs over 46 in the third innings. So, that's pretty good. King came over in the Joey Gallo deal. He has a 5.79 ERA in 18 2/3 innings while shuffling between the big leagues and AAA. So I think I look at this from the Cardinals, and I just think it makes sense because Montgomery's going to be a free agent. Obviously, the team struggled. You need some youth. You get 2 21-year-olds, and one of those guys, in Segisi, is having a really good season, in the minors. So I just think for the chance Roby develops, maybe King offers you something out of the bullpen, it's worth giving up Jordan Montgomery because most likely you're not going to re-sign him this offseason because he's looking to get paid for the first time in his career. And I think as we've seen from Jordan Montgomery, he's adequate, but he's not a guy, and he probably will end up getting $80 to $100 million.
Right.
But we know, Tony, he's not that type of pitcher. He's on a championship team 4-starter.
Yeah, I would say that too. And I mean, I think honestly, the biggest thing for me with Monty, and it's always been, I don't know how you feel about it, but I just feel like in a big spot, you give him the ball, you're kind of have a little doubt in your head where you're like, he's not like a surefire, like he's gonna come in here and fan 10 players and go 7 innings. Like we've seen him, pitch full games. We've seen him. He had a no-hitter last season, did he? Right, no-hitter last season. He just pitched a whole game.
Complete game.
Yeah. But then we see starts where he lasts 3 innings. So I feel like there's been a lot of inconsistencies with him, and like you said, 4-starter at best on a championship team.
And then yesterday also, the Angels, who have already made some moves here, acquiring Randall Grichuk, who was actually rumored to be interested in by the Yankees, and first baseman CJ Cron. So bulking up their lineup. That was
huge, dude.
Getting these reinforcements while Mike Trout remains out. Cron this year, 11 homers, 32 RBIs, has missed some time, hitting 260. And then Randall Grichuk has appeared in 64 games, batting .308 with 8 homers, 27 RBIs.
They gave up their top 2 prospects, right, for these guys, or the top just number 2, I think, or 2 and 3, I think.
So I'm not sure where they were on the prospect list, but I'm just looking on here. So it's I don't know, Albright and Madden are the guys. Okay, so Mason Albright and Jake Madden. Lefty, Mason Albright's a lefty, and then Jake Madden is a righty. And you look at Albright, 3.62 ERA in low A this year. And then Madden, a 4th-round pick of the 2022 draft. He's 2-6 with a 5.46. So these are guys that are just, you're banking on potential, on stuff. Right. Obviously, the production hasn't been there. But once again, you're the Rockies, and CJ Cron and Randall Grichuk. Right. They're not going to be part of the Rockies returning to the playoffs.
Right.
So I think, maybe you would have liked to get a better return. But clearly they see something in these pitchers to trade away these 2 trade pieces.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Angels kind of really like doubling down and going all in here? I mean, I think it's obviously something they probably have to do because they know, Ohtani's on the cusp of leaving. But do you think that they're going to have any more of a chance to kind of make a playoff?
I do. I think Giolito's big.
Yeah.
Lopez more just has stuff, but the production in terms of the ERA isn't there. But then you add these bats, and then unfortunately, you add the struggles of the Yankees. I mean, I think there's an avenue here. Obviously, the Angels have a ways to go, but they've been playing pretty good baseball. They won in extras 3-2 yesterday. So I mean, they're right there in the mix. And as long as Shohei is going to be healthy for the stretch and Mike Trout is going to return, there's no reason to say that they're not alive and in it.
Right.
4 games back of the final playoff spot, half game behind the Yankees, who they have the tiebreaker over after that sweep at home the other week. So it's all there right in front of them. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do moving forward. So, I mean, there's definitely been some moves here, in anticipation of this trade deadline. The Blue Jays actually also acquiring Cardinals reliever Jordan Hicks, another guy the Yankees were rumored to have interest in. And it says, I'm trying to see. Okay. The return, the Blue Jays will send 21-year-old Sam Roberts and 22-year-old Adam Klofstan, who both are at Double-A. Roberts was the 10th best prospect in Toronto's system. And then, Hicks has 59 strikeouts, 41 in the third innings, pending free agent, 101 mile an hour fastball, second in the major leagues, only behind Duran. And this is after their closer Jordan Romano was placed on the injured list. So, I mean, once again, a move that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say so.
And it's just tough to be here when you're the Yankees and you see these teams around you, making these moves. And then like a guy that you wanted, Cody Bellinger,
off the list,
won't be dealt. Cubs have been playing great baseball. Gridcheck was a guy you thought about. He's off the, Hicks is another guy. And I think pitching wise, I think we can work with what we have. Jonathan Loaisiga over the weekend had his first rehab, appearance. So, that'll be a welcome piece back to this bullpen. I think the focus has to be on offense. The problem is,
Let's get that done, America.
Who are you going to get? I guess there has been some talk about Carlson. Is it Dylan Carlson, Tony, on the Cardinals?
I don't know. I think Dylan sounds about right. Sounds familiar.
Not that familiar with him.
Neither am I.
Let's see here. So Carlson, 24 years old, was the Cards' first round pick in the 2016 draft. And this season he's hitting 230. So fitting right in with the Yankees. 24 RBIs, 5 home runs, slugging 345. I mean, what are we doing, Tony? No?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Doesn't steal.
I mean, yeah, right. Does 3 stolen bags, 24 RBIs.
I guess it's based on potential, but jeez.
I mean, I understand he's 21 years old, obviously highly touted for the Cardinals, but it's just like,
performed decent in the minors, 2019, 26 home runs, but
24 years old.
In 2021, 18 homers, 65 RBIs, but 266. I don't know. It just seems like another mediocre player to add to the list. And it's like, as I've said, time after time after time again, I mean, give me Estevan Florial, give me Everson Pereira.
Right.
There's no reason to give up assets to trade for somebody like that.
Especially somebody like this. And how do you feel? It seems like Cashman's taking the notion that, I mean, I guess like not necessarily making moves at this trade deadline and more so saying, like these players have to perform better sort of mentality.
I would say that's why,
they're losing.
He's terrible at what he does. Because clearly you got to do something.
I mean, clearly you got to do something. Because I mean, I understand it's like, yeah, people have to do better, but it's like, how do you not look at DJ and say DJ is done? How do you not look at Rizzo and be like, Rizzo's got to get out of here? Like,
yeah, and it's like, come on.
Like, how do you not look at those two players?
I don't
get out?
have the specifics of who, but it's like on some smaller scale. I mean, unless internally, you could go with Jake Bowers at first. I guess it makes sense, but you'd want to get a first baseman, want to have an option at third, and would want an outfielder, unless maybe like you'll finally give the guys of the minors a chance. We'll have to see.
I know.
And I feel like that's a good segue. Kind of recapping the weekend here. Not a good weekend for the New York Yankees as they dropped 2 out of 3 to the Baltimore Orioles, remain in last place. And you had 2 embarrassing games sandwiched with a great game in between. But we'll start on Friday. And one thing that was not embarrassing was Garrett Cole, who is definitely by far the favorite for the American League Cy Young. He gave them 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs or walks, struck out 5. ERA now sits at 2.64. So he gives you 7 shutout innings. And your offense gives you 4 hits. No extra base hits. 2 of those hits by DJ LeMahieu. Sure, you draw 4 walks, you strike out 6 times, but just able to get nothing on Grayson Rodriguez, who, after shutting you out for 6 1/3 innings with 3 hits, with 2 walks, with 4 strikeouts, has an ERA of 6.21. And I understand he throws hard, but it's like you can't get anything across against him. That's embarrassing.
Mhm.
You had King and Peralta combined to pitch the 8th inning, getting the job done. And then Tommy Kahnle, who we've seen just struggle time after time. And I don't even want to look at his ERA over the past month. Needless to say, I know it's not good. But he gives up a walk-off home run to Anthony Santander, one of the key cogs in this Baltimore offense. Yankees waste a gem from Garrett Cole. And that really set the tone for the weekend. There's no way that can happen. And listen, I know, this Baltimore bullpen, very tough to deal with. You think about Cano and Batista at the back end, and then they get Fujinami from the A's, and you look at his ERA, 8.39, disaster. But I saw him get into the game yesterday. He has the stuff. They had been using him as a starter. He's had success as a reliever. That's a tough bullpen, but you had your chance against Rodriguez, and you can only muster up 3 hits and 2 walks and no extra base hits. You have to drive the ball. And that's not going to get the job done. So that was really tough to take. And the only thing, like I said, that you could take away from that, and DJ seems like he's had some life, even though I just see terrible at bats all the time, despite, a 300 average over the past 12, 13 games.
The consistent jacking.
There is none of that. That's for sure. We did have some jacking, though. Oh, and by the way, I was just so disgusted. I just forgot to mention Judges. That was Judge's first game back.
4 for 5?
No, that was on Saturday 3 for 5, I think. But he first at bat, first pitch, sinking liner to right, which was caught, and then he worked 3 walks after that. So just showing his impact, having professional at bats, being patient at the plate.
Right.
So that was a good thing, obviously, to have the captain back. And the only good thing you had this weekend was Saturday's 8-3 win over the Baltimore Orioles. And shout out 98.7 ESPN Radio. I was listening to, on my way to the golf course, Anita Marks mentioning the Yankees going into this game were 14-3 on Saturday games. She said she liked them. Sure enough, they went 8-3 to go to 15-3 on Saturday.
Oh my! I hope Michael's listening. He's probably so riled.
No, Anita. Honestly, Anita really gets the job done. I saw her shout out the company on Twitter over the weekend as well. She was at the softball.
Oh, she was. That's right,
yeah,
dude. She's cool.
She is. She is. So shout out Anita Marks. She knows where it's at.
Yeah, man.
So you had an 8-3 win here. Clark Schmidt, kind of a mediocre start, but nevertheless, his 7th win of the year. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 Ks, and 1 walk. Giancarlo Stanton in the first inning, an absolute bomb to left field. One of the few players to actually hit one over that tall wall there and left, 427 feet. So that made it 1-0. Schmidt gives it back in the second with a Mountcastle home run to tie the game at 1. And then Urias was able to score Adam Frazier on an infield single. But the captain has returned. 3rd inning, Aaron Judge hit a massive shot to center, 442 feet, scoring Higashioka. That made it 3-2 Yankees. 4th inning, Torres hits a sac fly to center, scoring Harrison Bader. That made it 4-2. Schmidt gives up one more run on a ground out to first, working in and out of trouble to keep the game at 4-3 before turning it over to the bullpen. Higashioka with a home run in the 6th to make it 5-3. And then Kiner Falefa, the big blow, clearing the bases in the top of the 6th inning with a double, scoring Judge, Rizzo, and Stanton to make it 8-3, which was the final score of this game. 4 scoreless innings combined, 2 apiece from Hamilton and Ramirez, 4 strikeouts, no hits or walks. So as Aaron Boone, who said something ridiculous after last night's game, said, actually said something that made sense. He said, this is what the offense is supposed to look like, which all of us Yankee fans would agree with. And then we were on to the debacle, Sunday Night Baseball. And I swear the Yankees must have a 10% winning percentage in Sunday Night Baseball. They lose every single time. And last night was no exception as they fall 9-3, getting embarrassed on Sunday Night Baseball, benching Aaron Judge. A lot of people talked about, wouldn't it made a difference? You have no idea. He could have hit 2 home runs, had 6 RBIs. The other batters could have had better at bats. That's a ridiculous thing to say. And Boone had some nonsense about, we don't want to DH and want to give him a day off because of the preparation before the game. What a complete doofus Aaron Boone is. And
what's the deal? Why?
We'll get to Boone.
We'll get to why? Okay.
But Luis Severino gives up 7 runs in the first inning. His final line, 3 1/3, 10 hits, 9 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. And we could fact check this, but I believe his 7.49 earned run average is the highest by a pitcher in the American League through 12 starts ever. And I mean, it was just embarrassing, a Santerre double, an O'Hearn double, Adam Frazier, the big blow to make it 6-0, a 3-run homer. And then also Adley Rutschman with his second at bat of the inning, Tony, to make it 7-0, scoring a rookie second baseman, Jordan Westberg. You had Jake Bowers, do what he could for the team. A homer in the third to make it 7-1. Gleyber Torres hits a shot to left field, and it hits the highest point of the wall before it would go over the fence. So that turned into a double. Of course, they don't get the run in. Bowers did have another double to make it 7-2, but then Sevy gives up 2 more runs, a Henderson double, a Hearn single to make it 9-2. Bader with a sac fly to make it 9-3, and that was the final score. And it just like Bader came on, runners on, and it just seems like every time there's a situation with runners on, very rarely do they get a big hit. It's a strikeout, it's a ground out. The best thing that usually happens is a sacrifice fly. It's never the IKF bases clearing double. You had Kyle Higashioka on a 3-1 pitch. You're trailing early, bases chucked. Dean Creamer could not find the strike zone, and he swings and grounds out. I mean, it's 3-1. The guys walked 2 of the 3 batters on base. You got to be a team player there, Higgy. I know he wanted to do something special, but that really cost him and most likely changed the outcome of this game. You don't really read too much into it that the bullpen gave you 4 2/3 scoreless because, obviously no pressure on them trailing the way they did. And, kind of getting back to Booney here, this was unacceptable. And the Yankees set a record for the Orioles, the most batters the Orioles had ever struck out in franchise history. 18 strikeouts. And then the doofus himself, Aaron Boone, after the game, has the nerve to when they're asking him about it, goes, well, I think they did a lot of great things tonight. They were working the account, besides the strikeouts. That was 2/3 of the game. 18 strikeouts. And you're going to say, besides the strikeouts, I mean, this guy is clueless. And I don't care if, he's a puppet, if he's told what to do. He's clueless. And it's a joke and it's an embarrassment. At the end of the day, it's a complete embarrassment what he says after the game. It just makes no sense. And I think all of us Yankee fans agree that there needs to be somebody in there with a pulse who's going to hold players accountable and is not going to be a pawn for the media, because that's what Aaron Boone is. And that was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever heard a manager say. Would you agree there, Tony?
I really couldn't agree more. I mean, it just didn't make any sense. Again, it's just like, I just feel like these guys, it feels like on both sides of New York here, are just trying to make this absolute dumpster fire of seasons that we're experiencing somewhat, making an excuse for it, somewhat trying to validate their moves and what their record shows. But in reality, Like all people want to hear is like, yeah, you know what? Like maybe I should have started Judge today. You know what? Like, Severino just didn't pitch well. Like he needs to do better.
No. And how about
Like-
one time too that not one time the whole season they've said we need to play better. We've had a rough season. And like we need guys need to start turning it
Right.
around, or we're gonna have to start switching stuff up. But they're like afraid to say that. So
Yeah.
that just shows there's no backbone,
None,
there's
dude.
no accountability, and it's a joke.
It gets me so angry, honestly. Again, like I don't want to make it about the Mets or anything, but looking at Epler doing it, I mean, looking at Boone saying this too, it's the same thing. It's like, do they think that the fans don't realize that the season is shitty? Do they realize that like some of the decisions that we watch you make are wrong decisions, and we don't recognize that? Like you're just trying to play it off as, oh, everything's cool. This is what we had some good spot. Like, don't try and put a spin on. Just say what it is, dude. Just say it like it is. Because I think that's what the fans want to hear at this point in the season. Like, yeah, we all know. We want you to say it. We want to hear that you know what's going on. We want to hear that you have a plan on how to, progress from the situation, how to change things, or somewhat, again, like just step one is just recognizing it. That's really what it is.
And how about say, we haven't been playing at a championship level. We're going to do everything in our power to get back there.
Yeah.
They don't say that.
And it's just so stupid.
It's so
dude.
Infuriating. And we do have a bunch of comments here if we want to catch up on those.
Yes. Josh B. Did we get Mike? I don't think we got Michael in, actually. Yeah, let's get Michael in. He says, love Anita. I knew it, baby. He said she's the best. Also listening in the courtyard outside while working on some props for Money Moving Power Plumbers 2. Nothing better to listen to while working. Absolutely love it, Michael.
And I would say she's the best, but also Michael's the best.
Yes. But and together they're the best.
Exactly.
Yes. And Josh B says, Anita, Don, Peter, Ken, Bill, Don. Oh, sorry, Dan Grasha. That's who it is. Pat O'Keefe, all video company shout outs. I'm assuming from the softball
Yes,
thing.
I saw a couple of
That
those.
is sick,
that was
dude.
great stuff.
Master Drew clocking in here. Looks like he's a little sad about the Yankees. Josh
Hard to
B
blame him.
mentions Rizzo's first platinum sombrero in his 13-year career.
It just when you think it can't get any worse.
It did.
And then a couple others from Josh B here.
Oh, yeah. He mentioned the doofus, and then quoting Boone, his previous 2 starts, Severino, that is, were pretty good. Who cares?
Exactly. I mean, he's right. It's just a complete joke. And at least, I mean, not to say that I think we have a future with Luis Severino, but it was refreshing to hear him say after the game, right now, I feel like I'm the worst pitcher in the league. So that the rare accountability that we have not seen this season.
What do you want to do with him, though?
So I would love to trade him. I almost like I'm trying to think of a scenario where it wouldn't make sense to trade him, but I just feel like I get it. His value is low, but he's also an impending free agent.
Right.
So if you could just kind of, get like a shot in the dark, maybe it'll turn into like a Clayton Beater. I'd be all for that. If we're stuck with him, then I would like to see him try the bullpen because he was good in a reliever role back in 2021. And when he first came up to the big leagues, Nestor Cortez is coming back. Clearly, Sevy deserves to be dropped from the rotation. So I think that's something that you have to do. And I think he could help us in the bullpen. You just have to hope it matters. You have to hope that the Yankees front office, which has just been a dumpster fire for, I don't know. I mean, at least the last 3 or 4 years, to say the least, and maybe say 14, because that's the last time we won a World Series. Are they going to do the right things to turn the season around and give yourselves at least a chance? And if they're not going to acquire anybody, are we going to go to the guys in the minor leagues? Josh B is always tweeting out Estevan Florial going deep for the Scranton Rail Riders. Do you think we could use his 23 home runs up here?
No.
Same goes for Everson Pereira. There lie your reinforcements. And I know Billy McKinney has had some nice moments with the Yankees, but I would be very much in favor of maybe you could trade him for a minor league player to be named later. Sure. But just get rid of him. Give Florial, give Pereira, give one of them a shot. I know there's rumblings that Florial might get traded, but it's like, why are we going to trade him? Like, we can't just put him up there. So you just got to hope because I know the trade market is barren, and they even talked about the Yankees being interested in Pham and Kana, and it's just like, how many times do we have to go over this? We don't need any right-handed hitters. We need left-handed hitters. So to get aging right-handed hitters from the Mets, I mean, it just makes no sense. And unfortunately, a guy that doesn't make sense is Brian Cashman, and he's probably not going to do the right thing. And I really find myself questioning, Tony, like, what is it going to take for the New York Yankees to get back on a championship trajectory? And I'm not even talking about this season. I'm just talking about in general. When is the insanity going to stop? When are they going to start making moves that us as fans can see that they make sense? What is the breaking point?
It's a good question. Because I feel like if there was one, it would have been hit by now. No? What is the breaking point, you think? You think missing the playoffs this season? You think that's it?
I was going to say, but if they finish with a nice, tidy, 83, 79, 84, and 78, that's going to be just enough justification for Cashman to come back, even if you don't make the playoffs. Oh, well, another season over 500, which means absolutely nothing when you have a team that has no shot. And then I just feel like, talent perspective, all these teams were whether they're in their division, in the whole league in general, we're just so far behind them in talent. All the talent the Orioles have, all the talent the Blue Jays have, all the talent the Braves have, all the talent the Rangers have, all the talent the Dodgers have. And it's like, it's a joke in terms of just pure talent, not results wise, top to bottom in an organization. We're a joke compared to those teams.
Yeah.
There's no athletic ability. And I feel like even when we do have these guys, other than Esteban Flores, who is obviously a little old now, he's been not old, I think he's still like 23, 24, but I'm saying he's been in the farm system a while. He's not 18. Other than him, you really don't have too many guys like ripping it up in the minors where it's like, you have to bring them up. Everything is like, but like, why do we never have the Ronald Acuñas, the Austin Rileys? Why are those guys never in an organization? It seems like other than Aaron Judge, there's been nobody who just dominated the ranks, came right up, and has been an instant star. We've seen the struggles that Anthony Volpe has had, but you can't look at our farm system and see a guy that has to come up and that you feel like can light the world on fire. Look what De La Cruz is doing with the Reds. Why is it such a problem to get those guys? What is the issue? And I guess it's the scouting department in the front office.
Yeah.
What else would it be?
Yeah, I don't know though, Brian. You can't look at your prospects and just expect a De La Cruz. Look how many prospects go through the system, and how many De La Cruz again, like De La Cruz is breaking rookie records. Like that doesn't come, he doesn't come around often, it's kind of almost a sense of luck, you kind of have to, find lightning in a bottle. I think like, I don't know, man. I feel like more often than not, your prospects will be like an Anthony Volpe, where it's like, yeah, they're highly talented, they come up, they do well, but then they go through the motions of like getting into a slump, knowing what it's like to not do well in the majors, and then getting out of that slump. I feel like that's like what most prospects go through, and a lot of prospects, end up, getting sent back down and they become nobody. But then there's a lot of prospects who do get past that, and they go on to have long-standing careers. Even, you look at someone like Alvarez, he's doing well. He's got 20 home runs. I'm expecting him to go into a slump at some point, whether it's this season or his sophomore season next year. It's gonna happen, there's gonna be no player who comes up and just absolutely rakes it. Even Alvarez, when he first came up, he was not good at bat.
But at least Alvarez though, like, I know his average isn't good, but he has 20 home runs.
Right.
When was it? When last time we saw that? Besides Judge, Gary Sanchez and Glaber, but it's like so far in between. And I feel like you're saying it's difficult just because you're in the same boat as me. You haven't seen it that much. And the point I'm trying to make is, and what you see firsthand with the Braves is we should be seeing it at least a little more. And it's not even close.
Yeah, no, it's not even close. That's true. The Braves is like a really
but Dodgers,
like an outlier. Well, the Dodgers too, I suppose.
But then
getting
the right veterans. It's never in the Same thing with the Mets. It's
Mhm.
never the right veteran. Freddie Freeman. Sure, you look at the age, the contract.
really
Like if
don't
you
care,
looked at it
dude.
from the no,
Well,
but I'm saying
yeah.
before the deal started, you
Yeah.
look at it from the surface. Well, I don't know. Like, is he going to be in decline? He's amazing.
He's better.
All the money
He's
that they
better,
give Mookie
Brian.
Betts, he's amazing. But why is it when we put that money forward?
Mhm.
But I think it's because we're not going top of the market, and I think it's the same thing
No.
with the Mets.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, the Mets
From the
kinda went
position
top of the
player.
market. Yeah, position.
In the pitchers, yeah, but not in their 40s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're over here talking 30s or old, not in the 40s.
I
Like, you know
know.
what I mean? It's like it's a problem. It's
I
not
know.
common sense.
It really isn't, dude. It's not common sense. I think that's I don't know. It's so tough to see what like what really the issue is. It's actually kind of funny because I think during the Mets game, when Verlander was pitching, they were talking about Keith and Steve were Gary were talking about all the scouts that were in the stands.
Yep.
And dude, they kept showing them like on
Yeah.
camera that dude, there must have been at least 8 different scouts looking at Verlander pitching.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because they were saying how a lot of scouts don't like share their knowledge with other scouts.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like every scout obviously has a well of knowledge and obviously certain experiences of baseball and what they look for in certain, whatever position player, pitcher, whatever. And a lot of those scouts don't, like I said, they don't like reveal what they look for. They don't, like they seem to be very, very like within their own closed doors here. They don't really share secrets, which I kind of thought was pretty interesting because we always talk about scouts. And obviously, like, I don't know much about the whole scouting situation in Major League Baseball, but it seems like a really good scout may be hard to come by. That there really isn't like a universal, like, I guess, sort of book or law on scouting. It does seem like a lot of these scouts are like they have their own individual kind of like nuances that they look at. And obviously, I mean, I'm sure a lot of these scouts too. I mean, you talk about factoring like emotion and stuff. I'm sure they look at certain things differently than other scouts, whether it be age or personality or just even like their personal life, how their lives are going.
Instead of what's
dude.
their favorite TV show,
Yeah.
can they play or not?
And so I think it's pretty interesting because I think that, like, again, we talk about it all the time. Like, it seems like your scout is like, I mean, this may sound obvious, but super important. Not the sense where like scouting is important, but the sense where who your scout is based upon, what these scouts look at. I think has a lot to do with who your team brings in and their success. Again, I would have to dive deep into it in terms of like who the Brave scouts have been, who the Dodgers scouts have been, where those scouts have been throughout their career, if they've been like career Brave scouts and stuff like that. Because again, it just seems like every scout is different. So I mean, I think that that's something maybe these organizations such as the Yankees and Mets should really start to look at in terms of who they bring in their scouting department, and who they really look at. And I don't know if that's a really top to bottom thing. I would imagine that. I mean, these scouts have to be working pretty closely with the GMs, right?
Mhm.
I mean, like very closely. So I would imagine that also is kind of a systemic flaw that could be, obviously Cashman, Epler are GMs we've been bashing, saying that they're not good GMs. So obviously, if they hold their scouts to a certain standard, I mean, these GMs which aren't good, I mean, their scouts aren't going to be good. That's just really what it is. So I think that's something maybe I'll dive into a little bit more. And try to look at some scouts. I don't know if Epler brought his own scouts over. I don't know like what the deal is with that, but
I would just fire him.
honestly, you gotta get rid of. It seems like you gotta get rid of all of them.
Yeah.
Because again, like Cashman, what have you done lately? Like Epler, what have you done ever for them? Like it's just not. And then again, like you're saying, like these rookies are out there. I mean, yeah, like obviously now the Mets have 3 new prospects to work with. So I guess we'll see how the scouts have been doing with those guys. But I mean, hey man, I mean, I think that's like something you really got to look at. And I think maybe some guys, I never really hear anyone talk about scouts in the MLB ever.
No.
Like literally on the broadcast yesterday was probably the first time I ever even seen them show scouts at a major league game like that.
Yeah, they don't usually.
They really don't. And talk about it like in length, I think that was really interesting. But yeah, I think that's something that maybe these teams should start to look at here.
Yeah. And enough. I'm past the point because I was always very big on, just giving examples. I don't want to give up Volpe. Don't
Right.
want to give up Dominguez. Don't want to give up Peraza. All that stuff. And now I'm just at a point where I just want talent. So I'm tired of just waiting on guys that don't even usually get chances.
Yeah.
And I know it's different because Padres won their last 3 games. They're 5 games out of the last wild card spot in the NL. But let's say they were definitely selling. I mean, Juan Soto would have to be on the Yankees. And if George Steinbrenner was around, he would have made that deal. That's what we need to do, is just focus on acquiring premier talent at all costs. I don't care about contracts. I don't care about returns. I just care about pure talent. And I feel like that's where they've lost focus. And I've said this so many times, it's always the bargain bin. It's never the top guy. And we saw clearly the difference last year in acquiring instead of acquiring Luis Castillo, getting Frankie Montas. And that's just an example of the infuriating stuff that the Yankees do that doesn't work, but yet they keep doing it.
Yeah.
So, we'll have to see. They said this series against Baltimore was big in terms of buying or selling. I can't really see them doing too much selling, maybe a little maneuvering.
Right.
And you would hope just acquiring. But these next 7 games, I mean, the Rays and the Astros, and luckily, I mean, you're catching the Rays at a good time, it seems like, but then are they going to turn it back up? You've struggled with them before.
Oh, yeah.
3 at home against them, 4 against the Astros. So it's just like,
Are you facing
what are you going to
McClanahan?
do? What's that?
Are you facing McClanahan?
I know tonight's Glass now versus Herman.
That's right. Who's going? John's going?
Oh, yeah, John is going.
That's going to be a sick game to see.
Yeah, to see Judge return as well to the park. So yeah, I mean, I hope they surprise me, Tony, but I think the best case scenario, the way they've been playing, these 7 games are going to go 3-4 at best. I could easily see a 2-5, unfortunately, 1-6, but I would be shocked at a 4-3, a 5-2. They just have not been stepping up. So
F win tomorrow.
It'll be interesting to see, what they do. And we do have a couple more comments here from Josh B.
Dude, we had a lot of comments from Josh B. Real quick though, I just wanted your opinion on one of them that you said, not everyone's built for New York and the pinstripes. What do you feel about that?
Yes, but it's like the reason that they're there is because of Brian Cashman. So he should be able to see that from afar. You could tell if a guy's mentally tough or not. And I don't need some analytical formula to determine that. So I think the fault there, not on the player, on the process.
You want to read that comment?
It's the analytics. He's right.
He also says, by the way, going back a little bit. Oh, actually, Kev Do says, Mets Yankees suck. Kev Do is in the house. Hashtag rep the company, dude.
Not a good time right now,
and then also Josh B, going back a little further, did agree with you with putting Sevy in the bullpen. Could be like Jabba, not a starter, go to the pen, do awesome.
Absolutely.
Dominguez, put him in AAA.
Absolutely.
See what he does. And
Absolutely.
then he says, no. This entire season has been bad. We saw it last year. Judge literally carried this team on his back. Oh, did my camera die? My camera did die. We saw it last year. He says, we're seeing it this year again. And then he says, give them all away. He's always said that.
Yeah.
You kind of have to.
You need talent. And you don't have it.
You don't have it.
And just one more thing here. I mean, it's like Rizzo. We saw him strike out 5 times. We saw what he's done the last 2 months. Every night he's batting 4th, maybe 5th occasionally. How is he not batting 9th? I mean, that is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
You barely give him any time off. You're embarrassing yourselves to the fans. I mean, it's just like he hasn't earned the right to start be in the middle of the lineup every single day. So no matter how they want to phrase it, that part is a joke. Hopefully they could turn it around tonight. And I know we went quite a long time on the Yankees, Tony. And we did talk about the Mets with the Scherzer trade, but any takeaways from the weekend that was? I mean, it's a solid weekend, right? I mean, 2 out of 3 this weekend. You include Thursday, 3 out of 4. I know but you're not at a point where you're trying to go for it. So I don't know what that does for you.
No. So, I mean, you look at the games. Let's start on Friday, which was bittersweet, obviously, because it was Max Scherzer's last start as a Met. And wouldn't you know it, he had actually a really good start. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run. 7 Ks, only 2 walks, threw 103 pitches over those 7 innings. Was really great, honestly, to see him have a start like that. I understand it just sucks because, like, obviously, I personally have followed Scherzer's career, because he's just a great pitcher. I mean, he's won the Cy Young multiple times. He's won World Series, obviously, with the Nationals in a crazy year, too. So, obviously, for me, not even just as a Met fan, but, as a Scherzer fan, I'm pulling for him. 9-4 on the season this year. To end his, I guess, Met tenure like that, I guess is nice. But again, bittersweet because you would love to see him on the team to lead the team to World Series. Like, I really would have at the end of the day. Like, absolutely, like, appreciate, that guy is such a workhorse at the end of the day. And he's just, I mean, he's someone who, again, like, you talk about Severino saying he's the worst pitcher in baseball. Scherzer is one who has a sense of accountability. And I mean, look at what happened when they traded Robertson. He's bad mouthing the team that's paying him. Like, what are you doing? But we all knew once that happened too. We knew he was we're gonna get traded, whatever. Low scoring game. You got Michael Gore pitching for the Nationals. We've seen him actually pitch well against the Mets this season. He ends up going 5 innings, 3 earned runs. First earned run courtesy of a Pete Alonso dinger, which will be the only opportunity that Gore gave up runs. 2 men were on base, Beatty and Alvarez. So beautiful example of, the young guys getting on base and the veteran coming in and bringing them home with a towering 453-foot home run to center field. Alonso wasn't done, though, because in the bottom of the 7th, he hits a dinger off of Garcia with Lindor on base. That was pretty impressive there. 423 feet to center field. So you got to really appreciate that. Given the fact that, Pete Alonso drives in all 5 of your runs on Friday. Pretty impressive. Gets his 30th home run of the season. I believe he's the second Met in the history of the franchise to have 4 or more 30 home run seasons. And when you really think about that,
wow.
I know, pretty crazy that he's only the second person to do it, but it's also pretty crazy that he has already done it. Which is nice because, I mean, obviously, he's been in the league since what, like 2019? Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
Or is it 2018? It is
2019. Yeah, that was his rookie year.
I don't know why. It seemed like he had won the Derby the year after Judge, but I guess it was 2 years. I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, of course, he did it out of 5 seasons. You have the COVID year in there, where obviously not a lot of games. So pretty outstanding, I'd say, record. For Alonso. So as I said, the Mets go on to win, 5-1. Great job there. But then Saturday, one of the pitchers who you haven't gotten rid of yet, Carlos Carrasco on the mound, does not last a full 3 innings, Brian. 2 1/3, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, a walk, and 2 Ks. And now this guy, his ERA is up to a 6.40, and I've been saying this since the start of the season. This guy really should not be out there or in your rotation or even on your roster at all. I don't understand why. I just DFA him. I just cut him.
Yeah,
release him.
You're
Release
not
him.
getting anything.
Because it's like, again, like, you're not gonna get anything for him. And if I'm Billy Epler, I'm gonna say I don't give a like. You're not good. You're not good. You're like, you lost us this game because the Mets scored 6 runs.
Yeah,
and you gave up 6. So it's like you suck, dude. Patrick Corbin started for the Nationals. You couldn't fucking beat them. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. Speaking of, though, Alvarez hit his 20th home run in the bottom of the 9th, mind you, 422 feet. You got Vientos homering as well. Vientos also with an RBI double early in the game. Tommy Pham was back with a home run. Lindor with a home run as well. I think it's 23rd home run. I'll have to double check for Lindor, but Lindor's killing it. Tommy Pham home. I mean, look, you got so much power here. You had 4 separate players hit home runs. Vientos he had a nice stand-up double that scored kind of real easy. Beautiful swing. But your pitchers just fucking blew it, dude. Carrasco couldn't get you 3 innings. You go into your bullpen early. You had to get through 5 bullpen guys. And honestly, like literally 3 or 4 out of these 5 bullpen guys suck. Like, so it's like terrible loss on Saturday. Sunday, you do get the dub. Verlander, again, leading up to this game, it's like, is Verlander going to make a scheduled start? What are you guys doing? They do start him. against Trevor Williams. Verlander struggled with some command a little bit, but limits the damage a lot. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Like I said, had a lot of lengthy at bats because the Nats were fouling off a lot, but threw 103 pitches over those 5 1/3 innings. Like I said, so did struggle a little bit in terms of putting batters away, but give up 1 earned run. You got Peterson coming here, who's been actually doing pretty well out of the bullpen. He comes in. I think was it against the Yankees? I forget. He came in, he's been coming out of the bullpen, gives you 2 innings, hasn't been giving up any earned runs or anything like that.
I think Rick was saying he was impressed with him recently.
It is really impressive because it's like, again, like so far, I think this is maybe the 3rd time they used him out of the bullpen, and every time 2 clean innings.
You know who Rick really likes is Rayleigh and Dave. I don't know if
Really?
you heard them
They like
talking
Brooks
about it.
Raley?
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like that they're like, I understand why you would like him.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I think I'd like him to have a little bit more. Like, I want him to throw some fastballs. That guy
Yeah.
is real because it seems like they're trying to use him in a closing role a little bit as well as Ottavino. But it's just like, I don't know, man. I mean, and you look at this game, 1 inning, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Got the job done. Got his 3rd save of the season here. But again, like in a big spot against a big batter, I don't know if I trust him yet.
Right.
To get down and gritty. So we'll see. I mean,
Got
potential.
the rest of the year to try him out.
Yeah, potential. I like. I mean, he's someone who's, again, like compared to the rest of the bullpen, you have more confidence in him. But we'll see how it progresses. So you said it. They take 3 to 4 from the Nationals here. I mean, it's cool that they took 3 out of the 4 from the Nationals, but I mean, obviously in this spot right now, you're not really happy. You're wondering about where Verlander's going to go. They would talk of the Orioles, talk a lot of the Astros, the Dodgers too.
Dodgers, yeah.
And then of course, it's really about the next trade deadline is tomorrow, is it not? Yeah. So it's really about the next like 24, 30 hours, just to see where people end up because they're talking about Verlander. Like I said, Kana, Pham.
I would trade him to the Dodgers or the Orioles. And obviously, I don't want him. I'd rather have him in the Dodgers. The Yankees don't have to deal with him. But just because I feel like the Astros always fleece people. And then the Dodgers and the Orioles, I mean, have a lot of people that you'd want.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, maybe it's crazy, but maybe if you eat enough money, maybe the Orioles would give you like Jordan Westberg or something who's already in the major leagues that you could instantly just put right in. You could get a prospect that's ready to go.
Again, I'm a little like curious to see like what the Mets are really looking for. Because again, I mean, you look at some of the look at the guys they got so far for Scherzer and Robertson. I mean, they're not players that are coming in immediately and doing great.
I think like one thing too, like I think Acuna could, at the very least, start this season in the majors.
Oh, yeah. I think so, too.
The Epler Cashman mindset won't let him do that.
Yeah.
But I think he could do it.
Right. But even if he does do it, I mean, I would look at him as a rookie to come in here. Yeah, maybe he comes in hot, but he's going to have probably a stretch of like, all right, this guy needs to make adjustments for the majors, which is, again, that's what you expect with every prospect to come up. Maybe, you can get a little lucky and he'll just be raking immediately. But again, it just seems like that their mindset is not of bringing players in right now who can play and win games for them. This is very much, again, I know Epler says the opposite, but to me, this very much seems like they're throwing in the towel. They're thinking next season.
But and I mean, I think it's like, he just needs to say it. But
just fucking say it, dude. Honestly.
I think it's the best thing for them. I think a great thing too, Ottavino, and I know obviously, he hasn't been great as a Met, but I think you could get something for him because teams always want relievers. So I think that would make a lot of sense. And then if you could get a prize prospect for Justin Verlander, no matter how much money if you can get a top 100 prospect, it's worth it. So it'll be interesting to see what they get for him. So I would say, it'll be interesting to see what they do.
I think Epler was supposed to talk to the media today, actually.
So maybe we'll see what.
I hope he says it. I hope he says it, dude. I hope he says it, and then Cohen comes out and just fires him right there on camera.
That would be great. That'd be great. And then if we could just do something a little different here, Tony. I mean, we already said it. It's basically a formality in terms of the picks. And we're just a little up against it. If you could just give me a quick 3.
Oh, like up against it, like you gotta go right now. Like quick.
No, not like
quick. Gotta go.
But,
All right, so real quick. No, I get it, dude. You want me to pick quick so I lose, and then you
Yeah,
gain some games.
I don't think you're gonna
dude.
blow
Yeah.
a 47-39 lead.
All right, so we're Monday. I guess okay, real quick. Braves. Yeah, give me Charlie Morton. Give me the old buck here for the Braves.
Connecticut native.
Connecticut native, yes, buddy. And then I mean the Marlins throwing Robertson out there in the 9th. Give it to me, dude. Taijuan Walker, 11-4 record though. Wow, look at that. But yeah, give me Marlins over the Phillies. Dave Robertson, how do you not? And then last but not least, give me Alex Cobb and the San Francisco Giants.
Giants have been hot. There's been talk about them adding some players. Obviously, they missed out on free agency,
Yeah,
but
they
they're
did.
right here, right behind the Dodgers in the standings.
Pretty crazy.
They want to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So you go Braves, Marlins, Giants. Against my better judgment, and being that I can't win this pick segment, I will go with the Yankees. I will, just hope that Judge back in the lineup, they have another 7-8 run game, and that Herman could strike out 9, give up 3, over 6 1/3, and then the bullpen could get the job done, and that he could win this one 9-5, and at least have some type of good feel going into tomorrow. So that's my first pick. For my second pick here, I'm gonna go with the Astros over the Guardians. You got JP France going against former Met great Noah Syndergaard. Enough said there. We know how bad Syndergaard is.
No, I thought you still got it, Brian.
He's gonna get absolutely trounced in this one. And then my last pick here, the Padres are going to keep winning. They're going to defeat the Rockies. Seth Lugo will give them 5 scoreless against Austin Gomber, and future Yankee Juan Soto with 2 home runs in this one as the Padres take out the Rockies at Coors 10-4.
Love it, dude.
And that is a quick pick 3, Tony.
Love it.
But the nice part about it is, even though we're wrapping it up here right now, that's not the end of baseball, as later this evening, roughly maybe 6:30 Eastern, we're going to get back on the diamond.
Let's go, baby.
For some MLB The Show 2023 Gaming Corner returns. Me versus Tony, a full 9. As we said on Saturday, the full 27.
Yeah,
Tony. So I
dude.
know you are amped for that.
Honestly, I'm super pumped. I'm gonna get some snacks too, so we get some chips and some snackages, dude, for the game. Maybe some drinks, dude. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm super pumped to play the show. Honestly, like I haven't played since the last time we played together.
Yeah.
Especially the full 9. Gonna be. Are we gonna go Mets Yankees, or are we gonna like?
I guess we could do game time decision on that. But I mean, I want to be the Yankees, but if you want to be a different team, I guess
That's ridiculous, though. If you're gonna be the Yankees, I have to be the Mets. Like that's.
It'll be interesting to see if the rosters
updated
are
rosters.
But
dude.
everybody join us 6:30 live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Anybody Twitch? So definitely check that out. But what a show! Really coming in hot on a Monday.
Yeah, baby.
And I have to thank Lonnie, Josh B, the company, all these comments. We love the interaction.
Love the support.
You guys are the best.
You said it, Lonnie.
We can't wait to see you guys soon and for some of those co-events, the company, downtime. That's what it's all about. But we appreciate everybody tuning in, continuing to comment, like, and subscribe.
Check out the vlog.
All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee in costume, and at Bar A. You definitely want to check out the Michael K. Beach Bash vlog. That is a good one for sure. The merch at downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.